are now listening to the Dad Rules Podcast with your hosts, Mario E. and Kid.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Dad Rules Podcast with one of your hosts. I'm Mario E. and Kid. What's going on?
Not much, man. Glad to be here. What you got today?
All right. So today's topic, we're talking about be a good provider. So I'll start this topic off today. So we're going to be talking about today about what it means to be a good provider in our homes for our children and for our spouses if you're married, financially, emotionally, all those things. So for me, when I think about being a good provider, first thing I think about, of course, is financially. And I can remember back when my wife and I, when we first started, when we first got married, and I provided in the home financially on I don't want to say it was a complete 50-50 basis, but how we divided the bills and the structure in our home was, she had certain bills that she would pay. I had certain bills that I would pay. That's kind of how we did it. And then I was fortunate enough to kind of progress throughout my career with my employer. And what ended up happening was we moved away from home, and I ended up paying all of the bills. And I've done that for the last 7-8 years. My wife recently, she just graduated with her master's degree, and she's got back into the workforce. And I told her that the plan should continue to be the same. Let me continue to pay for everything. That way that's already set. My mindset is there. And we use her money to save and to invest in those different things. So that's kind of been our plan going forward. Mm-hmm. So every household is different, but you need to figure what that needs to be for you and your family. Sit down with your wife, your spouse, or your girlfriend, or whomever, and to figure out how you're going to be able to finance certain things for the family. You know, if the child needs diapers, who's going to do that? Where is that money coming from? You know, if it's time to go on vacation, who's putting that money away to go on a vacation?
That's true.
And you definitely need to, have some type of plan of what that needs to be. Because if you don't have a plan, then, you're just going to be kind of flying by the seat of your pants, and, bills don't get paid, or, you're never going on vacation. And, as soon as you get money, you're spending it on things that probably you don't have any business spending it on, or you could be putting it away to something better. So that's my advice to that. Emotionally, this is how I look at it. I love my wife and I love my children. And what we have done for me to be able to provide for them emotionally is my wife and I, who, as Kid, you say all the time, your wife is in your dad council. My wife is definitely in my dad council. We try to make sure we're providing a home that's safe and secure. So for them emotionally as well, not just financially stable, mm-hmm. But we make sure that we're taking time on just to talk with each other. We make sure that we pray as a family every night. We have a set time that like the alarm will go off for all of us, and we'll say, hey, come on, it's time to pray for the night or whatever. We'll also do certain things on the weekends together as a family. So those are emotional things that that with our intent is that they take those same principles that we're doing as a family, and they take those to their families when that time comes, when they have families of their own.
That's true.
Yeah. So, husbands, as the Bible says, you need to, love your wives, treat your wives with honor and respect, and don't provoke your children to wrath, all those different things. You have to provide that emotional stability for our kids today. There's so many different things, social media wise, and things that maybe you didn't experience as a kid and when you were coming up, but these kids are experiencing today things that are just mind-blowing, things that we didn't have to go through necessarily. And we have to provide a place for them to be able to emotionally wind down and to still be able to talk to us about whatever those things are.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. And as far as physically, the first thing I think about there is protection. You know, I'm providing protection for my family. It's my job to make sure that they are loved, and in doing so, they're protected. That means if it's, you know, we talked about this on another podcast. If it's 3:00 in the morning, somebody knock on the door, I'm not going to tell my 11-year-old son to go get the door. Nope. I'm not going to tell my daughter, you know, to go get the door. I'm going to get the door. You know, I'm going to check that out. You know, if someone tries to, you know, is meaning my family harm, they got to deal with me. They don't have to deal with my little son. They're not, that's not what that is. You know, so you have to provide that physical support and that physical stability as well as a provider.
Good.
What you got?
It's funny, we got some of the same things. Now, I guess I thought about like provider, and I think like the first thing that comes to mind is just finances. I think that's like everybody wants a provider male, you know what I'm saying? Just to take care of everything, and I don't have to worry about it because they just feel like it's just a stress-free environment, but it's not necessarily like that. Like if the male is providing everything financially, then the wife is taking care of everything in the home. And believe it or not, that's a full-time job as well if you're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Both parts are key components to make sure the family structure is where it needs to be. I think the thing that I'm having the most problem with, and like I said, my wife and we kind of do like she's always worked during our marriage. And like you said, it's always been like the 50-50 thing. And then like whatever is like over the 50-50 mark, like the vacations, and if Joe needs something from school or something goes wrong at the house and we need to fix something, that's me. You know, I do the over and above type of things, but like I said, you have your assignments, what you need to pay, what she needs to pay. And like I said, for the most part, it's just about what works for you.
Yeah.
You can't worry about what everybody else is doing in their home. You got to work with what works for you. The problem that I'm seeing in society, and like I said, here as the Dad Roots podcast, we try to be a voice for the men. And I've talked to several men that are having that issue with being that provider and feeling the pressures of being that provider, and basically saying like, we can't do this. I need some help. And it's like, I just don't understand. If a man is trying to be the best father he can be, he's trying to be the best husband that he can be, why do you take a good man and put all of that stuff on him when you could help out or do your part? And I just
explain that. So are you talking about a situation where the man is paying all the bills and he's feeling the pressure of paying all the bills, when the woman or the wife could help and give some relief, and she's not doing that? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, because I've talked to several guys, and this is one of the main issues when it comes to dating, is that they really want partners. They really want somebody that they can, the guys, they really want somebody that they can work with together and not necessarily have to do everything on their own. And they're feeling a lot of pressure to have to pay all these bills, and maybe the woman is not, paying anything to really help. And I feel like it's a very stressful state for them. And then we wonder why guys just go off and do crazy stuff But when you're at that point where you need help and you are saying, we need to do something different, I need some help, and those cries for help continue to get ignored, what do you expect a man to do?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like we are living in different times. Some have the means that they can just take over everything, and that's great. But some guys just they can't financially do that. But then they're still made or looked to do that.
Yeah.
Which is, I just can't wrap my mind around the thought process of some of the women when it comes to that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, and I know you maybe can't speak to some of these situations specifically, but these guys that you're talking about, and I definitely love to get into a conversation with some of these guys. So I want to understand it too. So is it they went into the relationship, and was it an expectation that they felt that they needed to pay for everything?
I think it's more of it was supposed to be 50-50 type of thing. A lot of them just looking for just 50-50. Let's work together. Even if I'm paying 70, you paying 30 or 60-40 or whatever the case is, just I need you just to work with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm not just trying to make it. Like, I want to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't understand, if you know that your spouse or your significant other needs your help, I just don't understand why you can't help. I don't understand why everything has to be put on these men like that, and they're good guys.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. And so I guess like from that point, it's like we are so quick to, when they step out or if they just walk away and just don't want to be married anymore, then we quick to blame them. But I'm like, man, you taking a good man and you wearing him to death.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You working him to death. And what is he going to do? I don't know. I just feel like that's just unfortunate. I feel like marriage should be a partnership. And I know sometimes they say, well, my grandpa, he did everything. But did you look and see what house you and your grandma and your grandpa lived in? Do you remember all the things that they didn't have?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot that we have to do now. Like my grandparents, one side of my grandparents, they were like, they did mostly farm work. And my grandmother was like the homemaker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But times have changed. There are more bills and there are more things that we have to take care of. And I just feel like it needs to be understanding on both sides.
Right.
And guys have to be careful about getting into these relationships, and it's not a clear mindset. I think they get caught up in the status of the man taking care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And not really understanding the toll and the pressure that comes with the man having to take care of everything. Like, not even so much of losing your job, but what if somebody gets sick and can't work? That man may be feeling that pressure of that all the time. That, man, I got enough to make it. I got enough to do what we need to do. But if something happens to me, what are we going to do? Yeah. Unless you got, I say savings, but you know how I feel about savings. If it's nothing being put into savings, it's just going to dwindle down.
Yeah. So let me share this with you, right? And this could be to anybody who's dealing with a similar situation. And let us know in the comments. I'd love to have a discussion about this, just for everybody to kind of learn from each other. But to me, one of the most important things that I think, if from what I'm hearing, from what you're saying, as far as you're describing these guys and their situations, is it starts with communication. Mm-hmm. That's the way I look at it. It starts with communication on both sides. when you get into this partnership, into this marriage, you know, my wife and I, we had clear understanding from each other, like, okay, if this happens, this is how we both look at this. If this happens, this is how we look at this, you know. And like I said, at the time when we first got married, you know, I wasn't making the type of money that I'm making now, you know. And you know,
let me stop you right there.
Okay.
But that's one of the problems right there, is that when we got married, I wasn't making the type of money that I'm making right now.
Okay.
You have gotten with a woman that built with you. She grew with you.
Right.
I think, and some of the complaints, because I'm not in the dating game, but some of my friends that I have that's in the dating game, that's one of their biggest problems, is that they want this ready-made man with all these assets going and all this money coming in.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand your mindset to think that you don't have to build anything with anybody anymore.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I didn't want to mess up your thought.
No. I know where you're going, but so one of the things my wife and I, we talked about was, you know, who would do this, who would do that. And like I said, I was not making then the money I'm making now. So we had to, you know, we had to come to some type of agreement on these bills are yours and these bills are mine. I don't remember the exact split, but the bigger paying bills, like, you know, at the time we didn't own a home, so we were renting. I think she kept her car payment. I took the rent. You know, if the cable bill was more expensive than the light bill or whatever, I took the bigger bills and she took the smaller bills, right? Mm-hmm. And we were able to look at all that stuff and say, okay, when I get paid on this date, I'm paying for this bill, and this bill. Okay, my expectation, I shouldn't say it like that because it make it seem like she less than or whatever. Just yeah. But the expectation is for me, I'm paying these and you're paying those. All right. If any one of us get jammed up where, you know, something happened, we talk, we communicate with each other, and we go forward. We try to save some money to go on, you know, different trips and stuff. And I'll be honest, in the early days, we didn't have the money to be able to say, hey, this is going to be our vacation fund and we're going to go here every year. And we didn't have it like that starting out. We really didn't. You know, we were renting this small apartment. You remember that apartment? Yeah. It was tiny. I mean, it was tiny. Okay. And, you know, we made it work. You know, we didn't go hungry. The lights never got cut off, but we lived within our means that we could, right? And so, you know, if there was a situation where I felt like, oh man, it's 70-30. I don't know if I can handle this 70-30 anymore. I needed to be more like 50-50. Her expectation of me would be to say, hey, come to me and like we work this thing out, because she wouldn't want me to feel like I got a knife to my neck, you know, trying to support everything and trying to support 90-10 or whatever, or 100% at that time when we weren't built for that at that moment, right? Yeah. So it starts with communication, guys. You know, ladies and guys, it starts with communication. You know, you need to have a communication up front, and then you also need to have communication as it's going on. You know, hey, you know, can you give me half of the rent this month because something came up and I got to take care of this over here, you know? And so, it starts with communication. You have to communicate. And I'm going to say this, and you may like what I'm saying. I know you probably gonna want to, you know, dive a little bit deeper on this, but sometimes when you are under that pressure, that creates a situation in you sometimes to go out and get it even more. Okay. I remember those days when it was like, man, you know, it was some days, it was rough because, you know, again, I wasn't making that kind of money that I was making, you know? And so at that point in time, I wanted to put my best foot forward with my career to say, okay, I got to increase my earning potential. I gotta do better so I get this promotion, so I can do this, and it's gonna help me financially to do that. And then later on, you read certain books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, things like that, and you learn about multiple streams of income. And so if you're feeling that pressure, maybe take that pressure and use it to help you figure out some creative ways to earn more money in a different way, and that will help you relieve some of the pressure off you.
All right, let me speak to some of these guys too. Let me speak, because I hear you saying go out here and increase your earning potential. So I just want to come from the other side of the room and say, I got my job. My job is okay. I'm working my tail off at my job. I don't want to go out here and get another job. I'm happy where we're at. I'm happy that we bought this house. And I'm not trying to go build a house next year. I'm cool with being who I am, making what I am, and I'm cool doing this for the rest of my life because my free time is valuable to me. I don't want to go get another job. So in other words, I don't want to work from 8 to 5. Well, I don't want to work from 9 to 5 and then have to go somewhere just from 6 to 10. I don't want to do that. I don't feel like I should have to do that. If you just do your part, we can get this done. Are the guys wrong for feeling like that? Because I feel like women should inspire us to want to do better, not require us to do better. What do you say to a guy that's how he feels? It's not saying that he doesn't want his kids to be provided for, not saying that he doesn't want his wife to be provided for, but he's okay with the life he has. I talked to a gentleman like that. We were talking about, they got a new house, and then his wife was talking about that she wanted another house. And he's just like, man, I'm good. Like, I'm working the job that I'm working. I'm going to work here until retirement. I'm trying to cool out. Is that too much for a man to ask for?
No.
Am I not providing because I'm like, I'm good? Now, me, my mindset. My mindset is multiple streams of income. My mindset is to set things up so my kids will be good and my kids' kids will be good and their kids will be good. That's my mindset. But every guy doesn't have that mindset, and it's okay if they don't have that mindset. Some guys are okay. They're good with the job they have. They don't mind making the same amount of money that they're making right now for the rest of their life because they can pay their bills. Some of our ancestors were like that. And their wives were fine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what do you say to them? I mean, is it wrong for them to feel the way they feeling with that?
That they just want to be good and live comfortable the rest of their life?
Yeah.
If that's what they want to do, that's their right. That's their choice. My only thing is that if you got a spouse who's wanting bigger and better, then that's where the communication comes in again. You need to figure that thing out, because it's going to be important that you figure that out.
I know Maisha, bro.
Yeah.
And I was there when you were making those gains and those strides. And I know Maisha was saying, I want this out here and you need to go get it. That ain't her.
No. I
If you
didn't
had
have
stayed in the same position, she would be the same woman she is today. Nothing changed about it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I understand.
She inspired you. She inspired you to want to do better for her and y'all children.
Yeah.
But it won't know. it wasn't a requirement that I need this and I want this and you need, I don't care how you get it, you need to find a way to go get it. But I'm just feeling like that's some of the attitude that, based off of what I'm hearing from listeners. These were listeners.
Yeah.
This is what I'm hearing. And I don't feel right if I don't share their side of the story. That's not right, man. That is not right. To make a man feel like that he got to put everything on his shoulders. That's not right.
Yeah. So I think it starts again, it goes back to communication. And you know, I'm thankful that I felt like I know I waited on the Lord to send me my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you know, it comes with, you when you picking a wife, you got to pick someone that you definitely want to spend the rest of your life with. Someone that is going to have that right disposition, that's going to be agreeable with your disposition. You know, you can have the same values as someone, but if their disposition doesn't fit yours, it's not going to work. You know, and it's got to line up. You know, so let me ask you this: we ignore red flags all the time, do we or do we not?
Yeah.
Yeah, we ignore red flags all the time. So let me ask you a question. And I saw this on social media on a popular person's, really famous talk show person. Let me ask you this. In a dating situation, who pays for dinner?
The man.
Your opinion, the man pays for dinner.
In the beginning. You talking about first date?
It could be first date. It could be the fifth date.
Can I get specifics?
First date.
First date, man.
Man pays for the dinner.
Very first date,
Okay.
Man pays.
Okay.
You want me to go ahead and explain the process?
Okay. No, I just want to know. So, like, what if you get into a situation where, let me ask you this.
Be careful.
Let's say,
be careful.
Huh?
Be careful.
No,
I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, be honest. I want this. That's what we're here for. Okay. So you ask a woman out, you go out on a date, you go to an expensive restaurant. Okay. Are you upset that the woman, you paying now? You said you paying. Are you upset that she gets the most expensive thing on the menu?
No, because I shouldn't have took her to that place. But speaking on character, that's a red flag for me.
Okay.
If I take you to an expensive restaurant, the girl that says, the girl that says in her mind, oh, he got money, I'm gonna get this lobster. But you don't eat lobster like that. But you're gonna get the steak and lobster just because I brought you to this restaurant. That's a red flag for me.
Okay.
Now, my wife, I take her to the expensive restaurant. I say, honey, don't look at the prices. Get what you want. She gonna look at the prices.
Yeah.
She's always been like that. If it was on our first date and I took her to an expensive restaurant, she would have not got anything close to the highest thing on the menu.
Okay.
Now that is why I say I'm going to marry you. Also, I've told my wife this, I think it was sometime this week. We were talking about remodeling some things in the house because you have projects in your house. You're like, okay, I would like to do this one day. I'd like to do this one day. And I told my wife, I said, wife. I said, wife. I said, honey, look, I got some things, I got some goals and stuff that I want to get accomplished. Okay. I got some things in front of me right now. I said, we are not going to do all of this stuff right now. I said, let me put some stuff in place. Once I put some stuff in place, then we'll have the cash flow that we need coming in. And I said, when we do it, I said, I don't want to use a credit card. I don't want to use a loan. I just want to do straight cash and
Straight
be good.
cash, homie.
Straight cash, Randy Moss style, straight cash, homie. Right? So I told her that. I was like, okay, things that we want, I want to be able to just go and write the check and just be good on it. Right? And she said, cool, I understand. That's fine. And I told her right then, I said, the success of our family is going to be because of you and your patience. I said, because if your credit and stuff straight and you got the income, you can go to the bank and get just about anything that you need or want. Okay. But me telling her that, and she's like, okay, I can wait until you're ready. It's not a problem. I told her, I said, because of your patience, I said, one day I said, we're going to be so far ahead, it's going to be unreal, because we don't have to get caught up in what you're supposed to do or what looks good. We don't get caught up into that. So I don't have to have myself, what they call it, overexert yourself.
Overextended.
Yeah, you don't have to be overextended in finances or in bills and things of that nature, trying to be somewhere that you're not right now.
You ain't got to keep up with the Joneses.
Exactly. And just be patient, and you're going to get there without all the stress that comes with, oh my gosh, we got all these bills now. Yeah, everything looks nice, but I got to go find a way that I can pay for this stuff. No, we taking it step by step and being patient and understanding that it's going to come. Your time is going to come where you're going to be able to get anything that you want. But right now, I'm in the building process.
Yeah.
We're trying to build this empire, right?
Yeah.
It just takes a little time, but after a while, it ain't gonna matter. You just say, yeah, I want that over there. You can have it. And that makes me want to give her the world, because she don't want the world.
Mm-hmm.
And because when I write the check for the world and I say, honey, here's the world, she's gonna say, how much did you spend on this? I don't need all that.
Yeah.
Give me this little part over here. That's how she is.
Yeah.
But let's go back and talk about the red flag thing, because this is interesting, because I do have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, because I was waiting for you to get back to that, but you was talking good. So yeah, because I got some other stuff to ask you in relation to that question. But go ahead.
Okay, so do you want me to go ahead and start talking about the date process?
Yeah, no. So you feel like if it's the first date, the man should pay?
Yes.
Okay. So do you think it's appropriate? And I asked you, I said, is it appropriate for the woman to get the most expensive thing on the menu, in your opinion? No.
Not from a girl's standpoint. If you are serious about this guy, it's no way in the world you should get the most expensive thing on the menu.
What if she got?
If you have to stop at a fast food restaurant on the way home.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. If this woman would be looking at it from the standpoint of, if I went to this restaurant on my own, I would get this most expensive thing. So yes, if you taking me out, I'm still gonna get this most expensive thing. What about that?
I wouldn't do that, because I would be thinking about how he thinks.
Okay. So let me ask you this then. So let's say you don't go to the crazy expensive restaurant. Let's say you go to somewhere like, a Red Lobster or an Applebee's. Do you still think it's appropriate for a woman to order the most expensive thing on the menu if that's what she wants to eat?
I think wherever you're at, you need to be cautious about the price range. Okay. So some restaurants, the most expensive thing is $100. On some restaurants, the most expensive thing is $30. Okay. But you need to, on your first date, you need to be cautious of that. I'm pretty sure you can find something else on the menu for $15, because you don't want that man to be thinking like, yo, she got the most expensive thing. Really? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I looked at stuff like that when I was dating. So I really do. I feel like it's And I know somebody's gonna be like, no, it's okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I saw this and it came up, and this particular person, I'll say his name was Steve Harvey. He was saying that he pays every single time they go out to eat. If he takes his wife, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it was their first date or any time. Hold on, give me a second. It doesn't matter. He pays every single time. That's what he was saying, right? And so the ladies, you had one lady who was kind of saying what you're saying. She was kind of saying, you know, if it's the first date, she's not going to go and get the most expensive thing on the menu, because you just don't do that. Like you got some type of courtesy that you should do. Like, you know, you just don't, not on the first date. Two other women on the panel, they both said, I'm ordering whatever I want to order. One woman was basically saying, like, I'm going to order the most expensive thing, because if it's something I want to try that I wouldn't normally get, yeah, I'm going to try it. Another woman was saying, I'm going to order basically what I normally get. And if my taste is, you know, lobster and caviar, then that's what I'm going to order if this restaurant has it, you know, and I'm going to expect him to pay for
it. Isn't that inconsiderate though?
You asking me? Absolutely.
I feel like it's inconsiderate. I feel like I don't even know you that good.
Yeah.
So in other words, if you said, Tremaine, let's go out to eat, right? Let's go talk about the podcast. Let's get some ideas out there. Let's go out to eat. And we go out to eat, and you say, man, get what you want. It's on me tonight. I hear you say, get what you want, but like, I know I don't normally get the most expensive thing on the menu. I know I don't get 5 different appetizers and all that stuff. Like, I would still be like, let me get something. Let me get a meal, maybe get dessert, or maybe get an appetizer and then like my entree, or just get the entree. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be so caught up in, like, I would be very cautious, because I'm just like, somebody else paying for my stuff. Yeah. And then basically you going on the first date with somebody, this person is basically like kind of like a stranger. You don't know them that well. Right. Unless it's somebody you've been working with or something. But still, you don't want to do that. It just doesn't show, to me, it just doesn't show the right things that a man is really looking for in a wife. I mean, just to me. Like, I don't want no money hungry woman. I didn't want that. And I feel like when you get the most expensive thing, I don't care if you got money or not. Like, if I'm paying, you need to be like, let me get something not too cheap, not too expensive. Let me find something in the middle that I can eat tonight. If I want lobster and caviar, I'll go get it after he dropped me off. Then I'll go back and get it. If you want it that bad. Yeah. But man, I just feel like, man, and then too, that's becoming a thing too. Where these girls is letting these guys take them out, spend all the money on them, and they have no intentions on being in a relationship with the guy. Yeah, that happens too. Now, so like, to me, this is how I kind of look at all of this. Your original point that you had with some of the listeners and stuff, you know, we have these red flags, right, that come up. And I talked about communication. It's really, really important that you pay attention to these red flags that come up. It's really important to have that communication with your wife or your spouse. I'm gonna put it to you like this. I don't know if this person is listening or not. I'm probably not gonna tell the entire story. Yeah. But I probably shouldn't tell it all. But there was a person that I had went out on a date with before I had my wife and I started dating. And this person did something at a restaurant that I just found to be just so distasteful. And I cut it off that night with that person, because I was just like, that's inconsiderate. Okay. What they did, to me, it was very inconsiderate. And I'm not gonna go into details right now, but yeah, I found it to be very inconsiderate.
and we didn't date anymore after that.
Yeah.
We were still friends, you know, and if I seen that person today, it would be all love. You know, I have no ill feelings or hard feelings for what happened. It was just it was very distasteful in my opinion.
I'm telling you right now, if I went on a date with a girl and we in there, we eating or whatever, and something wrong with her food, and she start complaining to the waitress and talking to the waitress any kind of way and really making a big issue, that's the last time we going out.
Yeah.
Because how you treat them, that tell me everything I need to know about you.
Yeah.
Because you know, if you treating a waitress wrong or something like that, man, it's not that big of a deal. If your food is just disgusting, it's not that big of a deal. I'm paying for it anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you just can't stand anything on your plate and you didn't eat anything, and then I mean, we'll pick up something to eat on the way home. It's not that big of a deal. Because if I'm taking you out, I got enough. Somebody said it. I think it might have been, I can't remember who said it, but they was like giving financial advice, and they was like, if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it once. So in other words, if y'all meal gonna come to $40, if you can't spend $80 today, then that's too much.
Yeah.
So I kind of use that too, but it's like, man, but I was gonna break down the dates. So like date 1, man needs to pay. Date 2, man needs to pay. Date 3, man needs to pay. After y'all went on date 3, like y'all kind of know what this relationship is. You know if y'all just having fun. You know if y'all ready to get in a relationship possibly. You should know by date 3 where this is going. Now, once it's officially, if I got to date 3 and she was like, no, let's say we got to date 4. And she was like, you done paid the last 3 times. Let me pay tonight.
You gotta keep her.
I'm telling you, and I'm not a cheapskate, and I know you're not either. When you say you're gonna take somebody out, you already got it calculated in mind. I got what I need for the night to take care of everything. But my wife, and that's why when you said the Steve Harvey thing, it kind of like hit me sideways. And I don't know what y'all do, but like we're gonna get something to eat, you know, after we finish recording or whatever. And I got in my mind that I'm gonna pay for it. I always do.
Right.
If we going to eat, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna pay for it or whatever. But like sometimes my wife be like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? And there's stuff like that, man, that just like, that's why I chose you, girl.
Yeah.
Because you put you put others before yourself, man. And you consider it. You know I got this. You know what I'm saying? You know I got enough to pay for it, or I wouldn't have brought you. I'd have said, no, we need to eat something at the house. You know.
Yeah.
But just knowing that you're not trying to get everything out of me that you can get, man, that mean a lot. That mean a lot. But like, we were going out, man, this was before Jonah was born. We was like trying to go out, man. It's hard to go out, man. It's hard to date now with the son, you know, because you got to get a babysitter and stuff. But man, before Jonah was born, we were going out every week. You know, once a week, we would go out, maybe on a Monday, maybe on a Tuesday. We would go get something to eat and we would go to the movies. And it was just something that we just did, just kind of get a break in the work week, or, you know, Mondays always suck, Tuesdays suck too. And it's just kind of something to kind of brighten up your mood going for the rest of the week. And usually what we would do is like either I buy the food and I pay the tip, and then she will go get like the movie tickets or something.
Yeah.
Now this is what we do. We do a lot of. Like if she got cash on her and I pay for the food, she'll do the tip. And then when we go to the movies, I'll pay for the movie tickets, and then she might pay for the snacks. So I don't know. I guess because we were doing it every week. And she was just like, I want to do my part.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel no type of way about that because, man, when you're married, you're like a pair of scissors, man. Y'all working together.
Mm-hmm.
And I really never seen anything wrong with that. I don't know if a lot of people do that, but that's always worked for us. And it just shows me that, like, you really appreciate me.
Yeah.
You really appreciate me paying for stuff all the time when you do stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we early on, my wife and I, we did the same thing. Like if we were going out one night, maybe she would pay for the movie and I'd get the dinner or vice versa or whatever. But yeah, it's you got to have that system, and it goes back to, like I said, you got to communicate. You got to talk about it for sure.
Now, when I get there in life, I'm saying this on the podcast. She can get anything she wants from me. Straight up. Because you was there when I didn't have nothing. It means something when you build. When you build with somebody,
yeah,
you are a part of my come up, girl.
Yeah.
You getting everything you want. And I don't care what the price is.
Right.
I'm talking about when I get it, when I get there.
Yeah. No, I follow you.
You getting there anything you want. And I'm going to give you everything you want because I know at the end of the day, you don't have to have it.
Exactly.
But if you made it like, I got to have Louis Vuitton this, I got to have Gucci this, I got to have all this stuff, man, I don't care about, man, I've never been that guy that and I'm not stunning on anybody that like that type of stuff, but I've just never been that guy like I said, you said she might get the filet mignon and the lobster or whatever at the restaurant. I've never been that guy to be like, oh, she got good taste. That's never been me.
Yeah.
Like, nah, you trying to get a meal of a lifetime tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I felt about it. But we having such a good conversation. I didn't really get to talk about some of the things I wanted to talk about, but you talked about emotionally, being there emotionally. And we talked about financial so much because that's the first thing that comes to people's mind. Yeah. But like providing emotionally for your kids. And like we were at our next door neighbor's birthday party because my son and their son are very good friends. And we went over there yesterday and they had their kids kind of separated. One is like 14 years old. And I think the next child is like 10 years younger than him.
Okay. And
then the next one is like 2 years younger than him or something like that. So he has an older brother. That's the point I'm trying to make. He has the boy, this birthday party we went to, he has an older brother and he had some friends over. And it was probably about 4 of them all together. And the kids came out, I guess they were in his room and they came out and they got food and then they went back. And I was like, these kids need a place that they can come and feel comfortable and feel love. I said, these kids are they're here because they're his friends, but they feel the love. They feel the family that they have. They feel that they're welcome. They feel that they can be here and they don't have to be getting, not saying that that's what those kids are going through, but I just thought about all the kids that I've came in contact with. They want to go somewhere that's peaceful. Yeah. Somewhere that nobody's on their back or nobody's yelling at them or trying to make them feel inadequate. You know, you okay. They have a place there at that house last night. Yeah. It just made them feel like you are enough. You know what I'm saying? You can just be yourself while you're here. And you could just see it on them that's why they were there. It wasn't that they had something so fun that they were doing. They just felt, you could feel like I can relax here. I can chill here. You know, it just makes me feel good. So we need to provide that for our kids.
Absolutely.
That emotional part, you know, making them feel a part of a family, make them feel that love. And then verbally, providing our kids and our wives verbally what they need. They need to hear that you're proud of them.
Mm-hmm. That's
they
right.
need to hear that you love them.
Mm-hmm.
They need to hear that.
Yep.
So that's a part of providing.
Oh, yeah.
Physically, they need to feel your hand being on their shoulder and giving them a pat on the back. They need to feel your arms around them and embracing them and giving them a hug. They need to feel the kiss on the forehead. Say, good night, I love you.
Yep.
If you need me, I'm in the other room. Okay? They need you to physically hold that mama's hand and give her a hug. And even though they may say ew or whatever, they need to see you kiss your wife.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They need that.
Yep.
They physically just need you to be there.
Yep.
I think sometimes as fathers, we feel like, what am I supposed to do? I got to do this or I got to do that. I don't know how to be a father. Just be there.
Mm-hmm.
Just be there in your dwelling, in your peaceful dwelling. Just be there. And then also the last one, because we already talked about financially. The last one is provide wisdom. My dad provided so much wisdom to me growing up. And I'm bubbling over because I'm able to deposit that wisdom in my son. When he's able to obtain all of that information, I'm going to load him down with it. My son is going to be a problem in this world as far as knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. It's just about making that next generation better than the last.
That's what I was going to say. You take what your dad gave you, he gave it to you. Now you give it to your son. Then he gives it to his kids. That's how it goes. And
I tell my son all the time, like, son, you're going to do some great things in this world. This boy is 4 years old. I say, you're going to be great. You're going to do some great things in this world. And I don't just say it to say it. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. And I know you do the same.
Absolutely. You got to.
But yeah, it's been a good discussion, man. You got anything else?
No, I don't. No.
All right. Well, guys, we thank you for joining the podcast on today. You listen to the Dad Rules podcast. We're talking about being a provider.
Yeah.
We got Mario E and Kid. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Later.
Thank you for listening to the Dad Rules podcast with your hosts, Mario E and Kid. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, follow and like us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Breaker, and Player FM. Till next time.